Jag Taggart 93 here with another comprehensive Doom WAD review. Today we're looking at Hydrogen, a WAD by Jacek Nowak that came out in September 2019. Now the readme file states that this map here is meant for an E1 visual style, designed for classic gameplay, no jumping, and free look is allowed but not recommended according to the author, and exploration is encouraged. So, a few things. Yes, definitely don't jump. Don't jump. In fact, I play all my WADs without jumping, so good call there. Free look. Yeah, I gotta have the mouse look on for this one. Whenever I play a WAD, I always try to have it off, but if it ain't working, it ain't working. And here it didn't work too well. I needed the mouse look on, especially early on when you have these faraway imps that are just lobbing all kinds of fireballs at you, and my auto aim just was not having it. So, yeah, I agree with the author. Don't jump, but disagree. Put the mouse look on for this one, okay? Now, the author says exploration is encouraged. Now, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to show it, and the author actually shows it. So what the author does in this WAD, it's very basic, but not everyone does it, but he does it, which is awesome. Where you see a tease for a secret. It'll be behind bars, it'll be up high, like a megasphere or a BFG, and that gives you incentive to go exploring. And if that's not incentive enough, then early on the WAD you realize that ammo is pretty dang scarce, actually. So there's another incentive. Sometimes you'll take a gamble, go wading through some toxic waste, and find a berserk pack or find a soul sphere. So definitely explore a bit with this one. Now, in terms of gameplay, there are difficulty settings, but it doesn't really make much of a difference between Hurt Me Plenty and Ultraviolence. I've played both, and I find the difficulty curve and the challenging areas are challenging either way you slice it, whether it's Hurt Me Plenty or Ultraviolence. So I recommend just diving in this one. Just go for Ultraviolence right off the bat. It's not much of a difference from Hurt Me Plenty, at least none that I found. A fewer enemies, I guess, but the tough parts are still freaking tough, and this map will be brutal to you if you don't know where to go. It's one of those maps where it's never hopeless. You're not doomed, no pun intended, if you take the wrong route with this one. It's just a lot easier if you know where to go ahead of time, and with a little bit of trial and error, you start to realize where the challenging parts are. To cache weapons. What that means is you see some ammo that you could grab, but you're already close to full, so you'll skip it, or health especially. You know where the armor is located, which is very, very thankful as well too. You know how to get the BFG, which helps towards the end. Great stuff. That's all here to find once you're acclimated to a level. Now, if you're not acclimated to a level, you're going to hate this, because there are times where you'll, say, teleport over to where a key is or another part of the level and be completely helpless. Be at the mercy of some sniping revenants or some imps that are still up and about. And really, the difficulty of this WAD spikes pretty sharply once the arch files come in. Yep, that's right. It ain't a party till Archie comes, and yeah, this map has arch files. And as soon as they come in, it gets pretty annoying. Once you learn the layout of the map, you get an idea of where you want to go once they start coming in, and how to best take them out. If not, you're in for a very frustrating time, but it's not so frustrating where you'll want to rage quit, because again, the author here is very careful of making some balanced gameplay, and when you do die, it never feels like it was against overwhelming odds. It always feels like, well, you could have squeaked your way out, just, somehow, you just had a bad break. So, pretty good map, know where to go, especially early on. If you don't know where to go, it's entirely possible to come face to face with a Revenant with only a shotgun and about 8 shells to go. And not impossible odds, but, it makes it a lot easier if you actually get the ammo, get the chain gun earlier on, or even find the chainsaw early on, and makes those encounters a lot easier. So that being said, this map looks okay. Like I said, the aesthetics are convincing. The author did do a good job making a tech type map. I liked how the aesthetics switch up towards the end. At the very end, you're in a hellscape environment, and that's where the big fight is. But more on that in a bit. With the aesthetics. I really didn't like how narrow the doorways were, and that made combat a little annoying. Playing peekaboo, back and forth out of these narrow doorways and trying to get at faraway imps, which is kind of annoying, or faraway revenants too with a shotgun, really annoying. And having these narrow doorways meant you had very little room for error once the projectiles started coming at you. So kind of annoying. I would have liked a bit more room to move in those areas, in those spots. I did enjoy the hallway with the flickering light. That was a pretty tight, a pretty neat jump scare got me alert, although nothing really came of it. It's just there, but it's nice flavoring. I like it. And like I said, the ending ends in a hellscape, which is a nice change of pace aesthetics-wise. You're used to seeing these gray brick or this gray metal and green toxic waste all over the place, and you come to the hellscape. And that's a nice signal to the player that the map is wrapping up, it's go time, and this is your last batch of enemies. Now, if you're paying attention while you're playing this map, you probably have the BFG, and if you do, this last part is an absolute breeze. Even without it, you can still manage to get through this pretty simply with the ammo you probably have at this point. The map really is at its hardest early on when you're strapped for ammo, and in the middle when all the archviles start coming in. After that, towards the end, it's pretty easy. I do like how the author thought carefully about the ending here. They could have just had the exit door just right there once you teleport into this area, but they know that the player would just sprint right to the exit, right? I mean, yes, there's an archvile guarding the exit, but, how many players out there, me included, when they see an archvile and see the exit, they just run right to the exit knowing we got a few seconds before the flames engulf us, right? So, what you have to do in the final area is you got to get the yellow key, and they're under switches, which are under Mancubi, which you got to take on. But at this point, it's really not that big of a deal. It's pretty simple, actually, and that's probably one of my small criticisms with this map, the difficulty spikes here. It's not a gradual progression of difficulty that we're seeing. It's more like a roller coaster that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And towards the end, despite the hellscape aesthetics, the difficulty is way down towards the end. It actually gets really, really easy in this area, which I didn't expect. So, overall though, it's a very, very tight WAD. I really enjoyed playing it. There are some weird areas here and there, like there's a set of stairs that just suddenly go from one color to red, another color just cause. But besides that, and other things I mentioned, pretty tight. I give this one a 7.4 out of 10. And that's all I really have to say about it. Thank you all for watching. Jag Taggart 93 signing out. You have a good one.